The 2023 climbing season has brought forth its fair share of challenges and tragedies, with news articles highlighting the perilous expeditions on Everest and now Annapurna 1. This mountain is known for its high fatality rate and dangerous avalanches and crevasses. One of the brave climbers who took on this perilous peak was Noel Hanna, a renowned Irish mountaineer with a remarkable record on Everest. Joined by Anurag Malu and Baljeet, two Indian climbers, they embarked on this daring adventure. Unfortunately, tragedy struck when the three climbers went missing on the unforgiving slopes of the mountain. So what happened to Noel Hanna and his companions? Let's find out. Annapurna 1 is a really difficult mountain to climb. It has steep walls and dangerous weather that can cause avalanches. There are hidden cracks in the ice that can be very dangerous for climbers. It's not as famous as Mount Everest, but it's reserved for brave climbers who are really good at climbing mountains. Noel Hanna was one of those brave adventurers. He was 56 years old and had climbed many mountains before. He had conquered Mount Everest multiple times, reached the highest peaks on all 7 continents, and even triumphed over K2. He was a really amazing climber. In 2017, he became the first person from Northern Ireland to reach the top of Mount Malu without using extra oxygen. He also made history by climbing the tough borders of Bert Kong between Nepal and Tibet. During the first week of the 2023 climbing season on Annapurna 1, every climber faced their own difficult challenges. But Noel and his team were the ones who made history. Noel loved climbing so much, and his list of achievements showed how much he loved the mountains. Everyone was excited about the start of the climbing season and carefully planned the best time to reach the summit of Annapurna 1. In the middle of April, climbers gathered at the base camp. There were 18 determined people getting ready for the first climb of the season, including Noel. Even though he was 56 years old, he felt strong and ready for another expedition. He wanted to start the season by conquering his 8th mountain over 8,000 meters high. On April 16th, Noel and his team were at Camp 4, only 200 meters below the top of the mountain. They were with climbers from Pakistan and Singapore. At 7 p.m., they started climbing together, all determined to reach the summit of Annapurna. Along the way, they met Anurag Malu, an Indian climber who had successfully reached the top and was coming back down. The climbers cheered each other on and gave thumbs up to boost their spirits. Noel and his team climbed through the dangerous terrain of Annapurna, facing deep snow and steep slopes. They were tired, but they kept going, moving carefully and staying focused. At 7:30 a.m., as the sun rose, the team finally reached the top of the mountain. Noel was exhausted but very happy. He knew their journey wasn't finished yet because they still had to go back down. But in that special moment, standing on the summit, they felt an incredible feeling. All their hard work and determination had paid off, and they would remember the moment forever. Noel and his team enjoyed a few minutes at the top, taking in the amazing view. They felt proud and excited. As they prepared to go down, they felt a mix of satisfaction and anticipation. They knew this experience would change their lives forever. After a short break, the 4 climbers started their descent. They had already spent more than 12 difficult hours on the mountain. They didn't stick together anymore, but went at their own pace. The weather was good, so they didn't face any problems. None of them felt the need to rush, but Noel took his time especially. He wanted to reach Camp 4 before it got dark, where he planned to stay overnight before going back to the base camp the next day. But as the day went on, Noel started feeling more and more tired. Each step required a rest before he could continue. It was slow progress, not ideal, but it was the only way to keep going. Finally, at 7 p.m., Noel arrived at Camp 4. Another climber, Arjun Vajpal, who had reached the summit the same day, saw Noel arriving. Noel was exhausted and could hardly talk, but he knew what was happening around him. He managed to make himself a hot bowl of soup before going to his tent to rest. The next morning, Arjun, who was checking on all the climbers at Camp 4, went to Noel's tent. Something felt wrong immediately. Noel didn't respond, and he hadn't been awake or alert for hours. Arjun was worried. He unzipped the tent and looked inside, hoping to see Noel awake and well. Sadly, when Arjun looked inside, he saw Noel's lifeless body in the sleeping bag. It was a very sad sight, and everyone at Camp 4 felt a heavy sadness. Arjun quickly radioed the base camp to let them know what had happened, so they could inform Noel's family and loved ones. A group of Sherpas quickly gathered to bring Noel's body down the dangerous mountain slopes. Their goal was to airlift him to Kathmandu, where they would make arrangements to send him back home for his final journey. It was believed that Noel passed away because he was very tired from being at such a high altitude. After pushing himself for almost 24 hours, his body just couldn't keep going. As the news of Noel's passing spread among the climbers, there were two other climbers he had met during his descent who were still lost on the mountain. Baljeet, an Indian climber who had reached the summit successfully on April 17th, had gone missing near Camp 4 while coming down alone. Her Sherpa, who was supposed to help her, had left her in Kathmandu for a better offer from someone else, leaving her to face the challenges alone. Baljeet joined forces with an experienced Sherpa, but reunited with an inexperienced porter just below the summit at Camp 4. They aimed to climb to the top, but were already tired from the previous day's climb. Baljeet struggled with altitude sickness, leading them to turn back for shelter. As they descended together, progress was slow and tensions grew. The porter decided to go ahead and find help, leaving Baljeet alone on the mountain. They grew worried at camp when she didn't return, so they organized an aerial search. Finally, the helicopter spotted her on the mountainside. After spotting Baljeet, a Sherpa quickly went up to help her. The descent was difficult, taking about 7 hours, but they managed to navigate the dangerous terrain and return safely to the base camp without any injuries. Now let's talk about another climber, Anurag Malu, who was with Noel on that fateful day on Annapurna. While Noel was trying to reach the top, Anurag was coming down from a high point of 5,800 meters. Unlike Baljeet, he was alone and enjoying the good weather, feeling relaxed. Sadly, fate had different plans for Anurag. He took a step, and the ground broke beneath him, revealing a hidden crack in the ice. He fell into the deep icy hole and got stuck on a ledge inside the crack. The impact knocked him out, and he was unconscious and hurt from the fall. At the base camp, people started to worry when Anurag didn't answer the radio calls and didn't come back for the scheduled check-in. The camp became very concerned, and they quickly organized a search and rescue team to find him. Helicopters flew above, searching the area, and brave Sherpas searched on foot. 3 long days went by, and with each passing moment, they lost hope of finding Anurag alive. But on April 20th, Adam Bilecki, a climber from Poland, came across a huge crack while exploring the area. In the vast expanse of snow, he noticed a faint hint of red. Almost covered by the snow, he found a hat marking the spot where Anurag was. The camp felt a mix of emotions when they made the discovery. They were relieved to find Anurag, even though his situation was very serious. The search had been a race against time, and Anurag's survival was uncertain. The rescue efforts continued, driven by the determination to bring him back safely and bring hope back to the mountain that had seen tragedy. In an exciting turn of events, Adam finding Anurag brought new hope to the mountain. The rescue team didn't waste any time. They quickly gathered and were determined to overcome the huge challenge of lifting Anurag out of the icy crack. With great skill and carefulness, expert climbers used ropes and worked tirelessly for hours until finally Anurag emerged from the deep crack, free from the cold ice. Anurag was quickly flown to Kathmandu by helicopter for medical care. He then returned to India, facing a long and difficult road to recovery. Despite the slow and painful process, Anurag's strong spirit keeps him going, getting closer to full recovery every day. During the first week of the 2023 climbing season on Annapurna, there were many challenges, and 3 climbers faced the dangers the most. Thankfully, 2 of them survived, despite the difficulties. Anurag endured a tough experience but bravely fights to heal completely. Sadly, experienced climber Noel Hanna lost his life on the slopes he loved to conquer. His passing serves as a reminder of Annapurna's danger and the importance of caution and respect. Noel's legacy as a climber will be celebrated and remembered by all who understand the allure of the world's toughest peaks.